Alright guys, it's the reveal of the global Dokkan campaign units. I'm so excited to see who these units are. Oh, it's Fusion Zamasu, that makes sense. Oh, they're fusing, they're shooting up. Oh, that looks so much better than the one we got in 2023. Oh, that scene is sick. They're also a tag unit, look at that. Oh, peak. It might not be 6 LRs, but this is peak. Oh, and Trunks is there too. Oh my gosh, Zamasu, you've cooked a feast. He said a crushing attack? Does it? When you go into Vegito, you have crushing attacks or no. Okay. Let's keep listening. A powerful attack? What does that mean? Are they saying that they only fuse and then they only launch an attack? Are they fizz fraud on? All right, let's keep looking. Went through the Japanese reveal of Goresh, he confirms they are implying Fusion, Zamasu, and Vegito Blue are just attacks. What are we doing, Zamasu? Clearly, this is a bit, because I just wanted to get the point across. When we saw these units for the campaign reveal, we were all expecting Fusion, Zamasu, and Vegito Blue. And I'm not going to call it false advertising. I'm going to call this a complete fumble. What are we doing? Why are they not fusing? I don't understand. Why would you do this? Like, okay, here's the thing. I think Vegito Blue not fusing is okay. You want to know why? Because we already have so many Vegito Blues, and Vegito Blue is literally out of animations. Like, I mean, we're probably down to the absolute bottom barrel of animations. But if you're talking about Fusion Zamasu, why are we not allowing them to go into Fusion Zamasu, even if it's a turn limit, right? I don't understand that at all. Like, the animations look sick, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're gonna blow us out of the water with their animations, but my biggest issue is this, is we just got a Vegito Blue and a Zamasu, Fusion Zamasu, in 2023, less than 2 years ago, right? And then on top of that, of course, we got a Rose Goku Black last year, and Global got it in February 2024, and Japan got it June 2024. We got a Rose almost exactly a year ago. I don't understand what they're doing here. If you're gonna redo this, redo it right. But instead they give us a rinse and repeat of units we already have, don't make them fuse, and these are the #1 Part 1 headliners for the global anniversary campaign. These are anniversary level units? Are we serious? And the worst thing is they call them experimental. Why are we experimenting? I don't know if I can name headliners that are that are less hyped than them. I'm being so serious right now. I think these might be the worst headliners in Dokkan history. And I'm talking about just out of worldwide anniversary, and I'm not gonna put Tanabata on the table because I would probably say Vegeta and Trunks are worse, right? So I mean, for sure one of the two. But yeah. Again, when you're talking about the most hyped units in the game, like, these guys had the chance to be some insane headliners. They're tag units that would have fused. Again, Vegito Blue is fine. I think it's really cool because there's probably a good chance that the Vegeta side has a father-son Gallic gun, or it's Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta all attacking together, something of that sort, right? I think it will look really good. I think his animation quality is really good. But when it comes down to how hyped these guys are going to be, it's going to be really hard to measure. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but they're like the tech gods and everyone loved them. But you gotta realize that was one of their first cards into the game, right? Like, in terms of the gods, right? We haven't had the Super Saiyan gods yet, or the Blues into the game. We didn't have the Gallic Kamehameha in the game yet. You know, and I think really if Gogeta was a bonus because we're not reusing material or something of that sort, and just quite frankly, the Dragon Ball Super Broly Goku Vegeta are way more hype than the Future Saga Goku and Vegeta. And the other thing as well is, of course, we just got Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta less than 2 years ago. So it's a rinse and repeat unit of a unit we already had, but then they're a downgrade to a unit we got less than 2 years ago. Tag Rose and Zamasu is a little more okay in this instance because we didn't get these two last year, or during the 2023 worldwide downloads. We got a corrupted Zamasu, right? We got that unit. We didn't get a Rose and Zamasu unit. So Rose and Zamasu at least have a little more hype in my opinion, but if you're talking about pure headliner, I think these two are probably one of the worst in Dokkan history. And I think the worst thing about it is because they're tag units. A lot of people love the fact that they're tag units. That's great. I'm glad they are tag units, but they gotta stop putting so much weight on tag units because tag units are going to ruin the game if they're going to start having us go short on units because they're tag units, or because they're, oh, it's a blue Goku, blue Vegeta, but they tag, so they're cool. It's like, oh, if they released a Vegeta and Nappa, but they tag, they're automatically, like, top 2, like, celebration option. They're putting too much weight on the tag. Now, a lot of people argue that, well, okay, I'm glad that they don't fuse, because it allows you to be able to use the tag mechanic properly without you only choosing one active skill and whatnot. That's a lame excuse, because you want to know why? Let's look at the year 10 examples, right? Yes, Super Vegito and Super Gogeta you're always going to go into in most scenarios, right? But at the same time, guess what? The tag mechanic still works, so you're stacking attack, you're stacking defense, and okay, Breaking Potara is definitely a lot worse than Vegito, right? But the Veku Ghost Usher, it's a pretty good trade-off versus Super Gogeta, especially in short form content. That's a balance you can do. If you make the other active broken, you can make it work. Like, you know what you can do? For example, let's use this Rose and Zamasu unit as a great example, right, of what they could do, and even with Vegito Blue, because the thing is, both of the other two, well, Gogeta's is an active attack, but the Vegeta side of Vegito is not an active attack, it's a buff. But let's say, for example, Vegito Blue was a transformation, and then they made the Vegeta side, like Vegeta, Trunks, and Blue Goku, and you're able to stack up like just a moderate amount of attack stacks, maybe nothing crazy, right? But just a good amount. You could make it to where it can one-shot the boss for how powerful it is, or it allows the whole rotation to get protected for that turn. It doesn't matter if they fuse or not, they just have to make the active actually good. That's the difference. They don't have to make the unit unfusing to make it more balanced. Yes, if Vegito Blue came out, would he be more broken? Possibly. But at the same time, what if they made the active a one-shot so you can clear the entire boss? Versus Vegito Blue, who could be more of a consistent unit that you can use for 2 phases or for 2 bosses or something like that, right? But, I don't know. To me, I think there is a way they could execute it if they did it properly, but, I mean, I don't know. Again, we haven't gotten the kits yet, right? We haven't seen their animations fully. I think they're gonna cook with their animations, I really do. But here's my issue, right? If they're not gonna fuse, there are other unit options we could have gotten here, right? I think a lot of people were okay with Future, 1, because of Easy A's, but 2, because of the fact that we were going to get another Vegito Blue and a Fusion Zamasu, and that's hype to people, right? No one wants a Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta card. I'm sorry, no one just wants those two. If you're going to do a tag mechanic unit, there are many other options you could have done. I think Rose and Zamasu are a hype tag unit. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But at the same time, are we going to make them so hype that they're a Part 1 global download celebration anniversary level unit? I don't think so. Not if they don't fuse into Fusion Zamasu, right? Again, look at the 10th anniversary. The top 2, the headliners are tag units that go into Super Vegito and tag units that go into Super Gogeta. And like, okay, well, let's look at the headliners for Worldwide last year. It was Broly and Trio. I mean, yeah, Trio might be less hype, quote-unquote, than these two, you could say. But Trio had a standby, and he had the one punch. He had no representation, quality animations, he was good. I think a lot of those came into the reason why Trio was such an amazing headliner. Of course, Broly being Broly also helps out too. But my issue is, these units have already been done. We have these units in the game. We have Rose and Zamasu in the game. We have Goku and Vegeta in the game. We have Vegeta Blue in the game. We have Fusion Zamasu in the game. And there's nothing wrong with having those in the game if they made them a different card, right? I get what they did here. I had a feeling they were probably going to do something like this because Vegito Blue, it feels like he's going to come out for the 12th anniversary to pair with his No Limits EZA. So to me, it doesn't shock me per se that they didn't use Vegito Blue in its full extent. And in fact, I'm okay with this unit not fusing into Vegito Blue. My issue is Fusion Zamasu. We don't have a Goku Black and Zamasu unit that go into Fusion Zamasu at all. We have the AGL Zamasu that goes into Fusion Zamasu, but it could be updated for sure, and it could be done way better. This is the opportunity right here to do it, and it would have been insanely hype. Again, Vegito Blue being an active attack almost makes sense for how little screen time he has, versus Fusion Zamasu, who has an insane amount of screen time. So, to me, it just feels like they really sell themselves short here when they have the chance to really hit home, especially if they're going to reuse a celebration that is still very fresh on units. right? We got a Rose last year. We got a corrupted Zamasu 2 years ago. We got a Vegito Blue and the Blue Boys like 2 years ago, right? So to me, if they were gonna redo this, you know, at least do it all the way. Don't hold back, just so that at least if you're gonna do it again, that you're not, you know, you're not restraining yourself because you just did it less than 2 years ago. That's my issue. Now, I will say, they did say this is experimental, and I do wonder what they mean by that. What do they mean by experimental? Are these two going to be Dokkan Fest LRs? Are these two going to be Carnival LRs to start the year? Is one going to be a Carnival, one going to be a DFE? I don't know. And I think a lot of me is kind of, you know, considering a lot of things here, right? What if this is, like, they start the celebration, and these two are Carnival LRs? A lot of our perspectives are going to change because they're not Dokkan Fest LRs. And them not fusing almost makes sense for them because they are Carnival LRs and not Dokkan Fest LRs. And the reason why I bring it up as them potentially being Carnival LRs, and there's not even any evidence for this, minus maybe Copium, honestly, is the fact that they were talking about something experimental. And if you notice the 10th anniversary, we got 6 LRs, right? We got 6 LRs, 3 in part 1, 3 in part 2. But what if they did something crazy and they released a banner for all 3 parts? Again, we know they are capable of releasing 6 LRs. Now, if all 6 are quality is the question, right? I mean, it might just be 4 quality LRs, which again, I know a lot of people would take over 6 LRs with meh animations, meh kits, right? I understand that, right? But what if part 1 is like, you know, it says Breakthrough, and it says Breakthrough the Future, but it was retranslated in the Japanese version, and it doesn't necessarily mean Breakthrough the Future. But let's just say, like, part 1 is these two, right? Because clearly it is. Part 2, there's a few options, right? Now let's just go for this theory. Part 2, a tag Future Gohan and Future Trunks, and then versus a tag 17 and 18, right? Or it could be a tag Dragon Ball Superhero Ultimate Gohan and Ultimate Piccolo, and then Gohan, I don't know, maybe he just has a Kamehameha in his ultimate form, and then Piccolo goes orange for a few turns, or something like that. Like, that would be pretty hype. Like, a tag Orange Piccolo and Ultimate Gohan. You could easy A Ultimate Gohan and Piccolo, and then you can do the tag at Game of 1 and 2, so you can easy A Game of 1 and 2. Or, again, you also can just do the Future Gohan and the 17 and 18 to get their easy A's out of the way too. That is possible. But again, the reason why I'm okay with either of those, because part 3 can still be Daima, maybe. I'm not even saying that's the case, but I'm just saying if there's just a 3-part celebration, there is a chance to make this work to where, you know, where it's a whole tag celebration theme, right? So a lot of these units, or if not every single one of these units, are going to pertain to the tag mechanics, and probably both units will have it. It's hard to say exactly what the case will be, but it's definitely like the tag mechanics going to be a pretty prominent feature in this celebration. But my issue is again, Vegito Blue being an active skill is fine, right? I think it's okay. He doesn't have that many attacks left. But Fusion Zamasu is a huge miss here. I just feel like there's a lot of different ways to get around making the Fusion the way more dominant option. Like, for example, what if Fusion Zamasu sucked unless you got a certain amount of stacks, and then it becomes insane? Like, for example, make him like Daima Vegeta. You can only put him in slot 1, so you need to continue building defense up so that you can run him in slot 1 and they an ultimate tank, but it takes like 10 turns to do something like that. So if you want a quicker relief or a quicker effect, you use the Rose side and use a Rose and Zamasu active. I just feel like there's definitely ways to get around it without having to sacrifice fusions just to highlight the tag mechanic. I get that's their new mechanic this year, I understand that, but they're sacrificing so much and putting so much on the tag mechanic that's literally hurting the character choices, and it's hurting big celebrations. If Kale and Caulifla had a Kefla at some point in their card, whether it's an attack or they literally fuse into Kefla, they would be 10 times better, right? Or if you had, if Rose and Zamasu actually fused into Fusion Zamasu, no one would be complaining right now. That's why the Year 7s work so well. It's because you had one unit that could become Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and yes, the other one, yes, had the chance to go to Gogeta Blue, but again, that was the first time they were in the game as the duo, right? The Gallic Kamehameha didn't have any representation yet. We have Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta in the game with their animations. Yes, they're gonna be updated, and that's great, but this isn't their first rendition of this card, right? It's not like that can carry the load because, oh my gosh, we don't have this, oh, we don't have this. Like, there is some moments we are missing, but again, the issue really comes behind the fact that there's not like, oh, we're missing this really iconic moment, right, with this card. Like, if we were still missing the father-son Gallic gun, you know, maybe we could say, oh my gosh, they have that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm glad they did it because we haven't had that in the game yet. And it's something to look forward to, right? Or like maybe they'll have Goku's rage moment. That'd be really cool because we don't have that in the game yet. But it just seems like they're selling it short because they're trying to sell us the tag mechanic more than anything else. But I've babbled on long enough. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think they fumbled this celebration so far? Again, I know Saturday we're going to see more. I know Saturday we're going to get a way better reveal. We're going to get a better feel of these units. Again, they can save this unit if it's broken, right? Like, let's be honest. At the end of the day, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people will play with this unit if they have good animations and a good kit, right? It's just how it goes. And again, they have the aura and hype moments thing attached to them at least. So there is some part of it that would make sense for them to still be pretty hype units. But again, to me, it's like you're selling me a downgrade of Worldwide Download 2023, and then you're trying to sell it to me because they're tag units now. So now it's more hype, or it's hype worth the first global anniversary. You wouldn't think you'd come out swinging on the first global anniversary celebration of this game's career. You re-editioned something we've already had in the past. It was very recent, and there's a ton of other content that deserve this slot, like Namek or GT, Daima. We went back to something we've already done super recently, and they didn't even execute it well. That's the frustrating thing about all of this. So again, I hope this celebration, again, it's called the Breaking Through, and it's talking about fighting formidable foes. So I hope we get a lot more stuff like this. Like, okay, Vegito Blues Part 1, then Part 2 is Namek, Goku, and Piccolo that fight Frieza, and then Part 3 again is Adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta versus Goma, right? Like, if you could pull something off like that, this doesn't look that bad, right? This doesn't look terrible if they're not trying to care, like, if this is not the most hype thing of the entire celebration. And I think that's the worst part, is the fact that we kind of as collective as a unit are thinking this could probably be the most hype part of this celebration, and that's also very disheartening. Is if this is the pinnacle of this celebration is doomed. But again, let me know what you guys think. I've done ranting enough. If I did this video earlier, I definitely would have crashed out. I definitely had to take some time to scale back a little bit just to take a look at this, but definitely frustrating to see that they kind of held back on these units a tad. But again, the animations might make up for it. I'm not sure. I hope they cook. I really do. I really want these units to be good because we all saved our stones for this. You know, we waited for the celebration to get us out of a dead period, and then they do something controversial like this. So we'll see what they do, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys want more voice content, you can click the description. There is going to be a link. The first link is going to be my voice videos. The one under that is going to be the playlist for all Dokkan Battle videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.